Hey there everyone, Atesh here and welcome to another video or another section of the Zustand React State Management course. So again, we discussed that the state management is having a couple of segments that we can break it down. The first one is to create a store because that is a central truth repository. Everything needs to confront from there and every information needs to come from there. Single resource to find everything so that all the components have the latest and the updated information and can decide whether we have to re-render the component or not. Okay, now we have learned that how we can put the information in that store. Now the next step is to how we can pull that information back from the store. Also, we also need to learn that how we can manipulate that information so that information is always updated in the store. So we have two goals in this segment or in this video. That first, we are going to learn that how we can pull information from the store. And the second one is that how we can manipulate that information and make sure the store is updated. Again, in the Zustand, it is really simple. You should have seen that how this can be done in the Redux. It's also kind of easy, but there's a lot of process and boilerplate code that is involved in that. So let me go ahead back onto the code file up here. So there we go. So we have all this course form and everything that we have worked through. So we'll be talking on that in a minute. But first, let's create another component. So this one is going to be course list. So let's go ahead and say this is a course list, of course, .jsx, because that's a component in itself. And let me go ahead and add a React functional component. Definitely 100% need to remember what is the shortcut to actually generate this kind of code. I used to remember, I forgot just probably in this video or in this tutorial series itself. Okay, so now we have this React and we need to also import the use course state as well. So let's go ahead and say use course state store, sorry, not state. Okay, so that is also coming in nice and easy. Now again, remember there are a couple of things that we need to bring in this time. So this is not course form, we need to talk on the store itself. So this time we need to bring in the courses because that's where the entire things are living in. We don't need to import the add courses because this component doesn't worry about adding all the content. We need to import the remove because this component will be actually able to remove the component. In case that is not our goal in this component, we would have avoided it entirely. Toggle course because we want this component to be responsible for toggling as well. Maybe in a bigger application, you don't want to import all of these three things in one component itself. Certainly you can do this after this video. Okay, so this is all going in. Now let's go ahead and first bring in all the things that we are going to need. So let's go ahead and say we are going to have a couple of information. So courses definitely are coming in. The rest of them I would love to copy because I'm sure I'll make mistakes, typos. So remove course is coming in and also toggle course status is also coming in. So there we go. Now from where all these are coming in, definitely we need to use the store for this. So use course store for that. Now once we have this use course store, all we got to do is bring in the state for that. So let's go ahead and have this one. So there we go. These are coming in from there. Now I'd like to break it down a little bit like that. Now this actually gives us a callback function. In the callback function, we'll have the state. Now state is really a nice hook that is being created, sort of hook that is being created for us. There we go. And there we go. Now in here, we can just bring in all the data that we want. So first we need to have a courses. From where this is going to come in? State. Everything is going to come in from the state itself. So state.courses. Now whenever I say state.courses, I mean to say that I'm bringing this data from my store itself. Okay, next up is remove course. From there that is coming in. I'm pretty sure you might have guessed it by this time. Remove courses and we need the toggler as well. So toggle course status and that is also coming in from state.toggle courses. So all of the data which I want or all the features or you can say actions also that I need are coming in directly from here. Okay, so that is all done. Nice and easy. Now let's go ahead and move on that how this is going to work on. Now we have this courses array. All I have to do is loop through it. And once I loop through it, I can actually add a span or a simple elements that on the left side, it will be a checkbox. On the middle, it's going to be a name. On the right side, it's going to be a delete button. Pretty simple, nothing complicated. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the empty elements and remove this one. Let's go up here. Okay, the way we have coded it out or we have styled it out is with the unordered list. Feel free to just use anything else. We have kind of done this like this way. So in the unordered list, we are going to loop through everything. So let's just say we have this courses array. We need to map through it. There we go. In each of the map, what we're going to get is the course, individual course, and the ID or the index. We cannot call it as index in this case because it's more over an ID. Once we have this one, let's go like that. Okay, so further, what we're going to do is, once we have this, since we are not using the parenthesis, we need to put up a return statement. In the curly braces, return statement is given up here. Otherwise, you'll face a couple of mistakes, and in half an hour, you'll come back and say, yeah, this is how it is going to work. Now, in the return statement, we have to return a fragment. So let's go ahead and say react.fragment. And there we go. So we're returning a fragment. Now, this fragment is pretty simple. And again, in case you don't want to use fragment like that, you can just use a comma and use a fragment here. So that's up to you, however you like to go. Okay. Once we have this React fragment, let's go ahead and work on with that. This fragment, since it is rendering a unique component, definitely should have a key. Key is provided by the ID, or in this case, this one. So that is all fine. Now, in each of this, let's have a list item, and this will have a class name. So let's go up here and say you will have a class name, and the class name will go like that. You can use any of the syntax, whatever suits you. Course-item. There we go. Further, we need to add a little bit of the style on that. So let's go ahead and work on with the style. Just like that. And further, we will have a background color. Now, the background color of the item is going to be dependent on whether it is checked mark, completed or not. So we need to provide some custom. So we'll say if course dot completed. Now, this course is coming up from the loop that we are going through with the map. Okay. Now, the color, the background color will be something if this is true. Otherwise, this will be something else. So there we go. There we go. Now, in the case, this is going to be white, or if it is completed. If it is not completed, otherwise, this can be a custom color. So feel free to just give any of the colors. So we'll be saying FF0044. Again, feel free to just manipulate it, change it, however you like to go. Now, further, this is a list item. Now, list item will be divided into 3 parts. The first one being a simple span, where we'll be putting the input checkbox. So let's have a span, and let's give this span a ID as well, because not the ID, the class name. This will be course-item-call-1. Okay. Now, further, we'll be having an input, not this input, we will be having an input of type checkbox. We don't need all of this. Yeah, I know these are very important ones, not for this tutorial's sake. Okay, so once we have this input, then first we need to do is type is checkbox, that is fine. Then we need to see checked, whether it is checked or not. This will be governed by whether this is checked or not. So, of course. So we'll check each of the course, and we'll check whether this is completed or not. Then something should happen when the change is happening. So somebody is toggling that check mark unchecked. So that also needs to worry about. Take that event, the checking event, and then further, we're going to go ahead and call this toggle. Come on, suggest me, not suggesting me. We need to call this one. So the toggling should happen. So toggle course status, of course, alone it cannot happen. We need to pass on some ID that, hey, where it should happen. So course.id should be fine. Okay, so the first checkbox is done. So this is span. So this entire list item is a collection of the span that is going on. Now, once that is done, let's add another span. And in this one, we'll just put the course title. So we're going to say if the course, because we are looping through, we are quite drilled down into it. So we'll say the course is there. Optionally, there might be a title. Okay, so that is nice. Final thing that we have to do is put up a button. So let's go ahead and add a button. This button should have a class of delete-btn. Again, custom classes, no bootstrap is not kicking in. And let's call this one as delete. Once we have this one, let's go up here. And of course, we need to worry about on click, what happens when somebody clicks on the button. So we're going to just fire up an event. And again, we don't need to capture that event, because we can actually manipulate that simply because we can pass on this delete, this remove course directly from the course ID itself. So we don't need to worry too much on that of the event based. Let's go ahead and say remove course is kicking in, and that also needs an ID. So course.id. Okay, should be all happy as of now. So I hope you can see that this whole code that we have written from the React fragment is not actually a code for state management. This is just we are doing basic work. The state management course is this much it. So look at the line numbers. Look at how small, how tiny it is. Now all we need to do is save this. Now let's go up into app.js and inject this one as course list. So we're going to go ahead and say course list. And there we go. Should be all happy. Let's see that how it is looking on this. So we can see that it is already bringing in. So the data which we stored in the state in the previous tutorial or previous segment is also coming in. And we are able to just check mark that and all of that. Now, definitely this strike through and everything is not kicking in. But again, it just stays there even if I reload, because obviously it is getting stored in the browser itself. We probably need to do a little bit of the manipulation on that. Let's check it out. The course state that we have to, the type checked is there, course is completed, and that should be fine. Let's go ahead and try this. Okay, only part is missing is some of our CSS, and again we need to check it a little bit. It's not of a big deal. So you get the idea. Let's try delete this React Zustand because there are two. So deleted that. So that one is nice. And again, so we can check mark that, uncheck that. Let's add one more, probably Angular, maybe your favorite one. Let's add this one. This is going nice in. Since React Zustand tutorial is all done for you as well, let's go ahead and remove that. That's nice. And I'm also done with the Angular course, so that is also done. Okay, let's check this one is working or not one more time. TensorFlow JS. Add this one, looking nice. So this is all good. Let me give you a brief summary of how this is happening. So the steps in the Zustand is pretty simple. The first step is to install the package, which we have already done. The next step is to simply create a store from the Zustand. So we are able to create that using simply a course store. We are manipulating the hooks of the Zustand, which is the set hook that we are using. And further down the road, we were able to just use this create. And in the create, we just added the persistent course store. Now let me walk you through with a couple of more interesting stuff in the Zustand, because I know most of you are done with the tutorial, but I would still insist you please stay with me for a couple of more minutes. Let's read a little bit of the more documentation. So documentation says create a store first. So we are actually doing the same thing. You can use a store, create, and all of that. I've just broken it down into two parts. Then it simply says you can bind your component, and that's it. And truly that's it. That's all what we have done. We were able to use the store simply, and we have just brought in the state. Now, instead of bringing the state in the one line itself, we just did it all at once at the top, and then we were bringing the component here. That is how you will be doing it in the production. This is great for tutorial. The documentation couldn't be better than this, but yes, in the production, you will be doing the similar way. Now, of course, the reason why Zustand is there because it is unopinionated. I usually like opinionated, but in this case, I like unopinionated. It makes use of the hooks as the most consuming of the state. Now, surely if you want more, like you can selecting of multiple state slices, you want to override the state, asynchronous actions, all of them are also here, and probably we need a little bit of a more complex tutorial to actually implement this. So in case you need that, let me know in the comment section. Of course, we are using that in the production in some of the application that we have posted recently on our company's website. So that is also looking nice. So yes, I highly recommend Zustand. So that's it for this video. In case you are new upon my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe. There are a plethora of tutorials available, and I'll be creating more as well. Let's go ahead and catch up in the next video.